The Spice Girls were on top of the world, and during a press conference in February 1998, they announced their Wembley Stadium dates. Something was obviously off, and many fans noticed the tension and that Geri was cut off by Emma during the press conference. There was a lot of speculation about that moment, as some fans believed that Geri was going to announce her departure from the band right then. She would leave eventually in May 1998, and the girls would tour North America and play the Wembley Stadium dates as a four-piece. Sadly, I would like to confirm that I have left the Spice Girls. This is because of differences between us. I'm sure the group will continue to be successful, and I wish them all the best. News and several rumors about the third Spice Girls album started to circulate in the summer of 1998, when the girls announced that the album would be released by spring 1999, along with the new single Goodbye. On September 2nd, 1998, it was officially announced that the third album would be released in April 1999. Goodbye was already pitched to the record company before Geri's departure. Allegedly, it had a different meaning and was written with another events in mind. Later, Melanie C. would mention that Goodbye was originally about a relationship ending, but now it's about Geri and it's really sad. It was about moving on and saying goodbye to the old Spice Girls. It wasn't goodbye to Geri. It wasn't really literal.
It's a very kind of sentimental song. The first time I heard it, I cried, and that is the first time I've cried listening to one of our songs. And the first time, instantly cried, and it's got a full orchestra on there, and it just sounds fantastic. And it's really kind of, you know, and it is obviously about what's happened during the year, Geri leaving and, you know, us being strong. It's not goodbye, goodbye, because the chorus actually is goodbye, my friend. It's not the end. So, for all those people who think we're breaking up, we're not.
Goodbye was released by Virgin Records on the 14th of December, 1998. The lyrics were also seen by the media and fans alike as the group's end, although the idea was dismissed by the members. Goodbye received positive reviews from the critics, who said it was one of the group's best singles. The song was a commercial success all over the world. Goodbye became the Spice Girls' 8th #1 single in the UK, selling 380,000 copies in the first week, which was also the best result for the first week's sales after Two Become One. Due to Melanie B. and Victoria's pregnancies, promotion for the single overseas was scraped, and possibly, which is why it only got to number 11 on Billboard Hot 100. Allegedly, Virgin Records executives were not pleased with the pregnancies because the campaign for the third album had to be reworked and delayed. By December 1998, two of the girls have released solo singles, and both of them were successful, charting at #1 and 3 in UK respectively. More speculations started to circle around if the third Spice Girls album is going to happen after all. On December 26, 1998, Emma said in an interview, "Well, for the next album, we will be writing brand new songs. And, you know, we're taking it slowly and enjoying the process because we've been very, very busy. The last album we did was due with the film, so it was a bit hectic, but this time we're taking our time." She also confirmed that the third album would include covers and new songs, including covers of Celebration by Casey and the Sunshine Band, We Are Family by Sister Sledge, Sisters by Eurythmics and Aretha Franklin, and Holiday by Madonna. Speculations about the cover album have been circulating for a while, and allegedly it was one of the reasons why Geri left. She didn't want to do a cover nor a live album. There was another song recorded in 1998, which was My Strongest Suit. The song ended up on Elton John and Tim Rice's Aida album, which was released in March 1999, and apparently was not meant to be included on. In January 1999, it was announced that the girls had chosen producer Rodney Jerkins to work with them on the third album. Rodney is quoted as saying, I went out to dinner with a couple of the Spice Girls about a month and a half ago, and they told me that they want me to, do some work on their album. So I'm planning on going to London at the end of January, early February to work on the album. So it should be cool. I'm ready for it. It will still have a pop appeal, but the beats will be a little harder. The producer plans to bring an urban, danceable feel to the girls' music. The album name is still undecided and is set for release this year. Reports are now coming in that it will be released before any major solo projects from the individual girls, contrary to other reports. Virgin MD, Paul Conroy, who is their boss, says that they are working hard this year and are currently recording new material. Also, MTV reported the name of the third Spice Girls album to be Great Divide. In February 1999, reports started to circulate in the general media that the third Spice Girls album will not be released on time, or for that matter, not even in 1999. The media has been saying that the Spice Girls will not be able to make their June 1st deadline for finishing recording of the album due to the pregnancies. It has been further printed that the release date has been pushed back to February 2000. Sources for the reports have been close friends of the girls. Melanie C is quoted as saying, "Our album is coming out June 1st. Don't listen to the media. And what's with this a close friend business? We've already finished most of the record. As soon as Melanie and Victoria have their babies and lose a few kilos, we'll put the finishing touches on it." However, it was confirmed later that month that the album won't be finished by June, and the release date of the untitled third album is yet unknown. It was also reported that the production team of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis will work on producing and co-writing some tracks on the third Spice Girls album. In October 1999, Melanie C was asked about the third album, and she said that there most likely will not be a single out before the end of this year due to the girls' individual busy schedules. She also said that the recording has been happening in 2-week bunches and is not finished yet. She also revealed that they are working again with producer Elliot Kennedy, who worked on the first Spice Girls album, along with the rest of their all-star production team. Also, Rodney Jerkins, who produced 3 songs with the Spice Girls that will appear on their next album, commented about his work with them and their third album, which he says should show up in the second quarter of next year. I did 3 songs with them, and everybody I've been playing them for can't believe it's the Spice Girls. I like to create for the artist on the spot. I knew I had to do the Spice Girls 10 months beforehand, but I didn't write one single lyric or do one track until I got to London. We started working on the songs the day I met them because I wanted to get a vibe from them. We did the 3 songs in 5 days. In a press conference on November the 5th, the Spice Girls said that they are very excited about their third album. They said to expect a single to be released from it in March, with the full album following soon after. However, a week later, Emma said, "The album will be out in the middle of next year. We still have to choose a single. It's the same direction, but working with American producers, our vocals have improved 100%. She also confirmed that new songs will be previewed during their Christmas shows in December 1999. That same month, Jimmy Jam, one of the producers who worked on the third Spice Girls album, has spoken about the upcoming still untitled album. Jam says that the Spice Girls have grown up and this album will prove it, but the change won't be so drastic that you won't recognize them. Jam's comments also give us the first 2 names of tracks off the album. One is called Oxygen. And the other one is titled If You Wanna Have Some Fun.
If you wanna have some fun.
Or maybe, so you wanna be the one, you wanna get my number.
Let's go back to
Like a little gap, maybe something like a cute little giggle or something.
Yeah, okay.
Just to fill the gap, but it's still really cute. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
If you wanna have some fun, get me down and get my number. You can be the one.
they'll write together.
We're really like crunched for time, so we're like trying to do 2 songs in 4 days, which isn't bad to try to sing.
Jimmy Jam added, "You know it's the Spice Girls. My wife probably had the best thing for it. She said when you listen to it, it doesn't sound like cheerleader music. It's fun because the Spice Girls are fun, and it's pop music and danceable. But there's an air of sophistication to it, of maturity, as mature as you can be at 22, 23, and I think it's a good blend. They're just better at what they do. They're better singers. And they're much more together now that there's 4 of them. Oxygen finds the girls using oxygen as a metaphor for love and life. Each of the girls tells their opinion of what love is, relating it to basically breathing. If you want to have some fun, is more of a straight up party record."
Really sweet, really down to earth, and really just like, easygoing, nice to work with, gives you a whole free range with melodies and lyrics and ideas, and that's really nice when somebody takes your thing and just lets you go for it. That's the kind of people we like working with.
I think it's also quite amazing that they've done so much stuff
And
they can
enjoy it.
still come up with some brilliant ideas and different lyrics, just fantastic.
A short clip of Oxygen would eventually leak online in December 1999, but quickly removed from all sources. 3 new Spice Girls songs were previewed at Spice Girls concert in Earl's Court during Christmas in Spice World Tour. These songs are allegedly going to be on the 3rd Spice Girls album. They are entitled Coming Right Back At Ya, Woman,
Definitely.
and Holler. According to the book Spice Girls Revisited, the girls and their old team worked on 5 tracks for the 3rd album, none of which would be used in the end. A spoiler to the ones who have not listened to the 3rd album, Stannard was particularly disappointed that Woman did not make the final cut. Does this mean that there is a finished version of a song? "I thought that song was really interesting lyrically," he said, "because it was making the progression from girls to women, which was something that Matt and I thought it was time for them to do. They needed something to suggest that they were still the same group of friends, but they were gaining maturity." On March the 4th, the day after Brit Awards 2000, where the girls received an award for an outstanding contribution to music, BBC Radio 1 reported that the first single would be Holler, which was rehearsed and apparently performed, but was cut off. The album's recording sessions were quite scattered. Melanie C had 2 number-1 singles in the UK, was preparing for her solo tour to promote her album Northern Star, and was also dealing with personal issues. It became increasingly clear that the band was no longer her main priority. As a result, she recorded her parts for the 3rd Spice Girls album separately from the other members during some sessions. While the other girls were also pursuing solo projects, the main turning point came when it was announced that Melanie B's solo album would be released in the same year as the Spice Girls' long-anticipated 3rd album. In May 2000, in the interview to the Heat magazine, Mel C revealed that the first single off the album will be a ballad entitled Let Love Lead the Way and will be released in August, with the full album coming in September. In August, the release date of the album was finally revealed, November the 6th, and the release date of the single, October 23rd. The new Spice Girls single will be a double A side of Let Love Lead the Way and Holler. On August 18th, the official Spice Girls homepage announced that they would give away 10 signed copies of the upcoming Spice Girls album in a contest in which you must guess the name of the third album from a list of 3 possibilities. The actual album name would be announced on August 25th. The choices were Spice 2000 Forever and Third Time Around. I tried to put the timeline of the recordings together, and here are the alleged studio time dates and recordings before the initial release. 2nd August 1999, Woman, Treasure, Go, 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 Overnight, Too Hot. 16th August 1999, Right Back at Ya, A Day in Your Life, Give You What You Want, aka If It's Lovin' on Your Mind, Pain Proof. 25th August 1999, Holler, Let Love Lead the Way, Weekend Love. 21st September 1999, Oxygen, If You Wanna Have Some Fun. 10th April 2000, Tell Me Why, Get Down With Me, Time Goes By. 17th July 2000, Wasting My Time. Right Back at Ya was reworked with new vocals and production, which original producer Kennedy felt wasn't as good as his. On August the 25th, it was announced that the album would be called Forever. Holler was played for the first time on the radio in Brazil on September 1st. Most radio stations around the world have been given permission to start playing Holler on September 11th. The music video first premiered through the Spice Girls official website on September 11th, 2000, before airing on television for the first time through Much Music the following day. Released on October 23, 2000, the Spice Girls' double A-side single marked a significant moment in the group's career. This release was their first as a quartet following the departure of Geri Halliwell in 1998, and it showcased a distinct shift in both musical style and public image. Upon release, the single achieved immediate commercial success. In the United Kingdom, it debuted at number 1 on the UK singles chart, selling 322,000 copies in total. It became the group's 9th UK number 1 single and helped solidify their status as one of the most successful British girl groups of all time. Internationally, the song also performed well. It reached number 2 in Australia and New Zealand, with platinum and gold certifications respectively, and climbed to number 2 on the Eurochart Hot 100. In Canada, both songs charted individually, with Holler peaking at number 2 and Let Love Lead the Way at number 5. In the United States, however, the single had a more modest impact, with Holler peaking at number 12 on Billboard's bubbling under Hot 100 chart. Critical reception to the single was mixed to positive, with particular attention paid to the group's stylistic evolution. To promote the single, the Spice Girls made appearances on several British television shows. They performed Let Love Lead the Way and Holler on the National Lottery Stars, CD UK, and Top of the Pops. In an effort to reach a broader audience, Emma Bunton and Victoria Beckham traveled to New York to promote the upcoming album Forever. Their itinerary included attending the VH1 Vogue Fashion Awards and participating in various television interviews, aiming to generate buzz for the album and the single in the American market. The Spice Girls also engaged with the media to promote the single. On October 3, 2000, they were photographed for the cover of Q magazine. The cover headline, Prozac, Divorce, Self-Hatred, Spice Girls, hinted at the candid revelations within, offering fans an intimate glimpse into the personal struggles and transformations of the group. They also took a part in Spice Girls Weekend on MTV to promote the single and the album.
Welcome Welcome to day 2 of Spice Girls Mania Weekend.
We will be your hosts for a whole day of feel-good, pop and party music.
Designed to give you the full Spice experience.
Cool sexiness and a little bit of violence, not to mention some sharp dance moves and lots of thumpy music from your favourite glam muffins.
We are ready, willing and able to fulfil all of your musical needs, so don't go away because we wouldn't want you to miss a thing.
Our all-rocking musical review kicks off with 30 minutes of lots of chat and super hits.
Distinctive, full-bodied and a little bit fruity.
The album leaked on Napster a week prior to its release. It was released in Japan on November the 1st, in the United Kingdom on November the 6th, and on November the 7th in North America. Forever received mixed reviews from music critics. Nothing new there. What had changed, however, was the way in which critics who had been implacably opposed to the band from the outset could now be heard lamenting the loss of the great pop group they had spent so long trying to bury in the first place. The night of the album launch was a disaster. It was just appalling. Melanie C didn't want to be there. The girls were fighting, saying nasty things about other pop acts. In fact, it was more like a Sex Pistols album launch than a Spice Girls reception that night. It felt like it was the end of the whole thing. Melanie C ignited controversy by making blunt remarks about Westlife in the press, calling them a useless bunch of talentless tossers and dismissing their music as hyped-up shit. Victoria Beckham followed, confidently predicting that Westlife's album would be trashed by Forever.
Westlife have had fantastic success, you know.
In this country?
Yeah, but we really, but you know, they do things in America, and we do really respect what they've done, because not to sound patronising, but we've done that too. Yeah. You know, they've not been along, but they've been around as long as the Spice Girls, and it's like, and we are still hungry, but we're not desperate anymore because we enjoy what we do. It's not a race to get every record ever broken. It's not for us. It's just we love it.
So for Spice Girls, I think we've really, really moved on. You know, our fans are growing up. We want to grow up with our fans.
I'd really like to say a massive thanks to our fans because they're so loyal. And patient. They've stuck with us. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we've gone off, we've done a brand new album and it's a bit different and we didn't know, how people would perceive it, but they've been absolutely
there by our side.
Thank you
Hail
so
the
much.
fans!
Hail the fans!
We're so proud of this album. It's such a fantastic album. We don't feel that we have to scream at people and completely ram it down everybody's necks to go out and buy it. It's a good album. The music speaks for itself. It's a good quality album. And we don't have to scream up and all that about it, you know.
And I think the other thing is we also always feel really lucky to be in this position. You know, we don't want to push anyone and say, go and buy it. At the end of the day, we're lucky to be here. And if you enjoy the album, great.
Forever peaked at number 2 on the UK albums chart, becoming the group's only studio album to not top the UK charts. The album also only reached number 39 on the US Billboard 200. Worldwide, the album has sold over 2 million copies, a commercial disappointment compared to their 2 previous albums, Spice and Spice World. There were more singles planned to be released from the album, Tell Me Why and If You Wanna Have Some Fun, but due to low sales, the releases were scrapped. A very rare promo CD of Weekend Love has been also released and remains one of the rarest items in Spice Girls' discography.
You're releasing that very close to the Spice Girls album.
Yeah.
So for all your fans in all of the countries that we almost mentioned a minute ago, if they could only had enough money for one CD, which would you want them to buy, yours or the Spice Girls?
I think you'd have to buy the Spice Girls and save up and get mine, because Spice Girls CD is the...
It's the best.
Oh my God, I swore! Spice Girls CD's great!
Now for the MTV Europe Music Awards.
I know.
And you're all coming there.
Yeah, we are rehearsing for that next week.
Do you know what you're going to do?
I can't tell you.
Come on.
We're doing Holler and we're all in leather.
Hello.
And then Spice Girls will be doing a few gigs as well towards the end of the year.
So if you're watching...
like in a year's time?
Like this time next year.
Right.
You're planning way ahead, aren't you?
Well, you have to see, when you manage yourself, you've got to do a yearly plan.
Yeah.
You might not stick to it, but you've got to do a little bit of, forward thinking.
So how far ahead have you planned?
Well, till the end of this year, and then I'm going to start again next year.
On November 16, 2000, the Spice Girls took the stage at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Stockholm, Sweden. Prior to the performance, Melanie C revealed that the MTV Europe Music Awards could be the last time the Spice Girls appeared together on stage. She mentioned that each member would be focusing on their solo careers in the coming year, and there were no plans for a Spice Girls tour. This announcement added a layer of poignancy to the performance, as fans realized that they were witnessing the end of an era. It would be the last time they performed together before reuniting as a five-piece in 2007.
An era, the Spice Girls seem to have given up on promoting their inappropriately named album Forever. The Mild Girls, as humour-challenged music hacks are calling them, have shelved plans to release another single after Holler wasn't the shouting success they'd hoped for. No promotional duties leaves room for all the members to get into their solo careers.
The aftermath of Forever was both an end and an evolution. It quietly closed the book on one of the most culturally significant pop acts of the 90s, not with the celebratory energy they were known for, but with a slow fade into individual pursuits and changing priorities. While the album failed to replicate the group's previous success, it remains a noteworthy artistic risk, one that highlighted both the Spice Girls' desire to mature and the challenges of sustaining relevance in a rapidly changing pop landscape. Today, Forever stands as a misunderstood farewell, offering closure not through triumph, but through transformation. As of 2025, there are 9 songs from the Forever sessions that have not been officially released, though some have leaked online. These tracks include Woman, Treasure, Go Go Go, Overnight, Too Hot, Right Back Atcha, original 1999 version, A Day in Your Life, Give You What You Want, and Pain Proof. With the album's 25th anniversary approaching, many fans are wondering, is there still hope for these unreleased songs to see an official release? What do you think? Thank you for watching.